Weird. Okay, well, hopefully this is recording correctly. Okay, so here we are in our second video. So in the first one, we set it up so that we got the Tonight We Are Young text showing up. We changed the font color and the sizing, however we wanted it. And we did some tricks to move our text around a little bit. Now what we're going to do is look at how we add animation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this Tonight layer right here. And down in this bottom corner, I'm just going to click on this arrow and I will see a little animate button here. I'm going to click right on this triangle and I'll see all my options. Now, if you have an older version of Adobe, what you're likely going to have to do, an older version of After Effects, what you're likely going to have to do is go up to animation, go down to animate text, and you get the exact same menu. It's the same thing. You can do it either way, but I usually click down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Tonight start over here and slide onto the screen. So I'm going to go to position and I'm going to set up a position animation. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So down here, you'll see some more things popped up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm at the start and I'm going to go move the text. So notice position right now is at 0, 0. I'm going to move the text to where I want it to start. So I want mine to start off screen over here to the left and it's going to slide on. I actually want it to be at I don't want the Y value to change. So I'm just going to change that to 0. Okay, so I'm going to have it over here, which is like negative some number. What was that? 1,243.8. And then at 0, so your X and Y. So it's way over here. Then I'm going to go into the range selector. So in range selector, I'm going to go ahead and on start, I'm going to make sure that I'm right at the beginning of where I want my animation to start. So I want my animation to start right at the beginning. So I've moved this time indicator right to the beginning, starts at 0%, and I'm going to click on this stopwatch saying start the animation here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my selector to where I want the animation to finish. So I'm going to go about here. So it slides on before We Are Young shows up. And then I'm going to go over to start and I'm going to say go to 100%. Okay. To see what that looks like, I'm going to move. So that I drag that to 100%. You saw it come on. Now I'm going to drag my time indicator back. Notice this is the start of my animation. That's the stop. So I'm going to hit space to just see how it looks. So I'm going to hit space to stop it. I'm going to take this back to the beginning. And what I noticed is that it was coming on letter by letter. So T-O-N-I-G-H-T. And that's not what I want. I wanted the whole word to slide on. So the menu that I'm looking at is actually in the advanced section. So I'm going to expand it advanced and look at based on. In based on, it's right now based on the character. And I want it to go words. You can also do lines if you have more than one word on a single layer. But I'm going to go ahead and say on words, I want the whole word to slide on. Again, because we have a single word on our line, we could slide on by words or line. And now if I just drag this through, you'll see that it comes on as a single word, or if I play it through using space, you can see the animated effect of it positioning onto the screen through that slide. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just hide that one. I'm going to add a different animation to the we text. So I'm going to go to the start of where I want that one to show up. I'm going to click animate. So I'm going to have it fade on. So that's opacity. That's a really common one that students like to do. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change it to the opacity that I want. So 0 opacity is completely see-through. You can't see it at all. So that's 0. 100 is it's solid. Anything in between is semi-see-through. So I'm going to go down to 0. I'm going to go to my range selector. And on my range selector, I'm going to click on the stopwatch to set the starting point of my animation. I'm going to move to where I want my animation to go. So it could be that I want it to fade on really quickly at the start of we. Maybe I want it to take longer to fade on, but I want it to be pretty quick. So I'm going to go about there. And I'm going to move the starting percentage from 0 up to my maximum. You could potentially leave it partially. In this case, as I watch it, I know it's going by letters, and I already know I want to change that. So I'm going to go to advanced, switch my characters to lines, just to show you that lines and words is the same when your line is one word. And you're going to see the whole thing come onto screen. Again, I can close these if they're in the way there, and I can use play. So as you saw, that we faded on, but it faded on real quick. So what I could do is I can go here, and I'm going to adjust my animation. So in my animation here, range selector, I'm just going to move this a little bit. Actually, I should be able to just drag this. Oops. I'm going to just drag this little point. So I double clicked on it and I'm dragging it to where I want it to be. So I want a bit of a slower fade on. So I'm going to spread those out a bit because it's going to go from 0 to 100%. If it does 0 to 100% in a shorter distance, it's going to go fast. If it's in a longer distance, it's going to go slower. So that time it faded on a little bit slower. So that's a really nice animation there. If you know that you want two words with multiple animations, you might want to set up the animation and then duplicate the text layer because the whole layer has the animation. So for example, if I knew that I wanted R to have the same animation, I might do that so that it copied the layer as well. Okay, so that is a position animation and a opacity animation. So like a fade in, you can do fade in or fade out, up to you. I'm going to go down to, I'm actually just going to leave R. I'm going to go down to young and I'm going to add an animation for opacity, but I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the word young. Let's do start there. Let's do here. Opacity to 0. Go to 100%. Okay. So if we're going to start our animation, sorry, I should clarify what I just did. Okay. If we're going to start our animation at 0 and go to 100, then we need to be going from 100% opacity to 0% opacity, which is what we do here. And so it creates this effect, which kind of goes along with the music, which is what we kind of want to work on with when we're doing these sorts of things. Okay, so those are some basic animations. You can play around with other ones. It's the exact same idea all the time that we're playing with. Once you add the animation, you use the start timer. So you move your cursor to where you want to start your animation. You use the start timer to start it at 0% of the effect. You move it to where you want it to end. You move your percentage up to 100. And you also have to make sure you've set what its initial value is. So we'll do one more. I have no idea how long this video is. We'll do one more. We can do another, and we can do another one on tonight. So we're going to go to tonight. We're going to add another animation. So I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to go to scale. And in the scale animation, so now you'll notice I have animator 1 and I have animator 2. Animator 1 is the one we already set up. I should move to where I'm starting. Animator 1 is the one we already set up for positioning. I'm just going to minimize that one for now. And animator 2 is the one that we set up for scale. So scale is size. So what I'm going to do is at the start of the clip, I'm actually not going to start the scale changes until tonight is on the screen. Tonight finishes on the screen here. That's the end of that animation. You can overlap animations. I'm just choosing not to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scale it in the Y direction and the X direction. I want it to scale down a bit so that it's a little bit smaller. Maybe like 75. As it kind of fades out in the song. I don't know. You can try different values and see how it looks. So I'm going to go to my range selector, hit my starting marker, go to, I guess I just want it to scale down a little. once it's on, I want it to kind of scale on here, maybe. I don't know. Go to 100%. So it's going to take that effect. Actually, I kind of want it to be like tonight. Okay. I want it to be right where it does that wobble. Maybe it's here. Let's see. I want this one a little bit further back. Again, you might want to be looking at waveforms, but this one's kind of awkward with the waveform. So you can do that. Again, you can do it by letter or you can do it by word. But my point was I just want to show you could do multiple animations. And they don't, sorry, animator 2. They don't have to line up. So like this one didn't have to end at the same time as this one. It doesn't have to start at the same time. They're separate animations. They're just affecting the same layer. And that's essentially like an intro to animations. You can play around with all sorts of different animations, and you can check the list to see what this one needs to look like in the final stage. Make sure you save, and that's this video.